So, ladies and gents, by the time you see this, June 14th, Anime Rising will release in a little bit. So, to get you guys ahead, I decided why not and make a starter guide, as there are some elements in the game that can be a little bit confusing. So, if you find this video helpful, please make sure that like button, subscribe button. Let's get right to it, man. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Anime Rising. When y'all first load in, man, you will probably be given a unit called Direb, which you may have gotten from the countdown event for completing all of those quests, which are nice. So when you guys first load in, you will see you have 5 character slots. These are for all of your units. Now, Direb is most likely automatically equipped to your first slots. If you go to settings, you guys can change all of your keybinds, as well as like quick equip team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use all of your abilities. Now, if I click 1 on Direb, it will automatically use his ability once we select the unit. So when you first spawn in, you will have to go ahead and successfully arise a unit. So you want to go ahead, attempt to arise. Now, the chances for these units do depend. I do know for the mythical, it's a 1% chance, while for a regular unit, it is pretty high, probably like 100%. Okay, so the first thing we'll go over, so the big thing that I think you guys should go ahead and do is do all of your quests first. Do all the quests that you see on the right side. So for example, heading over to these units, trying to arise them, just trying to essentially build up your team is going to make things a lot easier. So boom, we got Yuho as well. Then we'll automatically equip him, and then we're just going to go ahead and complete this quest nice and quickly. All right, so last one right here, and boom, we completed the quest. So now a big question you guys might have off rip. So we're gonna go in and claim this quest. We got some rewards. Like I said, make sure y'all use this. The summon XP will be used to evolve your units. So when we defeated all these units, you guys probably realized you guys arised more than one unit. You guys evolved or arised actually multiple units. Now, with how this game works, you can only equip one of each unit. In fact, you can only have one of each. So even if I evolve or arise 5 of these Yuhos, I can only equip one of them. I can only equip one Yoji. On top of that, as you guys can see by these notifications, you can level up units. Now, how this works is you guys need summon XP on top of gold. So I'm just gonna go ahead and level up my Direb to level 2, 3, 4. So essentially, you guys should have enough to get it to a level 10. Direb will probably be your best unit off rip. So I would recommend that if you complete the quest or played Anime Champions, you got a shiny version of him. So level 10 right here, we'll go ahead and do that. Now, there's something called a break orb. A break orb is essentially like a limit break. It's how you progress to the next set of 10 levels. So you guys can see the bonus strength difference. It kind of doubles rather than it just being like a small increment of like 4 or 5%. Now, to get these break orbs, we will cover that. So just like that, we complete our quest, and now we have more quests to do as well. Another thing you guys will realize, at the top left, you have 10,000 gems. You're gonna get gems as you do these quests, but you guys will probably be really tempted to actually summon right here, and you can summon. You actually can buy units. I would not recommend doing this. You can gamble for the luck. These units are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They are definitely really good. But again, look at the odds. You guys can gamble if you want. But if you are a free-to-play player, I would not recommend doing this. I would save up all your gems. Another thing as well is the game passes. So how do game passes work? Now, there are no actual game passes in Anime Rising, although there are monthly things, monthly subscriptions you guys can pay for that give you, I guess, game pass type of things. Now, how do I feel about this? It is what it is. It's definitely a cool system. They got to make money somehow. But you guys can buy like the monthly season pass, and this will give you a lot of rewards, like I guess like a battle pass essentially. On top of that, you guys will get limited units and skins. Now, the next one is the VIP pass. You guys can pay a month for this one. So you can pay 1,000 Robux for this. You get auto rise radius that increases, higher chances for mythical rising. So a rising the mythical unit is 1%, as we know, so it's going to boost the chances quite a bit. Bigger auto attack and auto rise radius and passive income. On top of that, there is the dungeon pass, which gives you a higher chance to actually arise the dungeon boss, which we will take care and look at that in a second. And then sponsoring events, you guys can spend, I believe it's 100,000 Robux. So this gives a bunch of luck, mythical spawn luck, shiny luck, and you can send a message to the entire game. So if you want to do that, that's pretty cool. The next thing is, what are gems used for? So gems are used for buying different things like Arise luck pots. This will boost your rise chances. Shiny luck pots boost your odds of getting shiny units. Quirk tokens, class quirk tokens. We'll look at these in a second. But we have a free random chest. We'll go ahead and okay, I guess we'll buy that right here. Make sure you guys are buying these. We'll go ahead and use this chest. And right here we got 5 mythical fragments. So how these fragments work, there are rare, there are epic, they're legendary. Probably not rare, but they're 100% mythical. And guys, every time you get 100 of these, you can get a random mythical summon. So it's gonna be super important that you're rising random units. For every time you arise a duplicate unit, you get some of this essence. So for example, we have 9 essence. If we go ahead to Yunho and we can actually arise him first try, we should get another thing called, yeah, we got Cosmic Essence for just defeating him. So you guys don't even need to arise them. All you need to do is actually defeat them. Now, this will be your best way to get mythical units, because using this, we can actually select it. So looking at a unit like Yojin, if we're able to ascend it technically, we need some rare essence, we need some Yuho souls, we need to arise him, and we can get him to his epic rarity, which is going to boost his strength, his quirks. So the next question you guys probably have is, Carson, what are quirks, man? How do they work in this game? So quirks are essentially like, kind of like quirks from Anime Champions or Anime Fighters, although they are not as gradual or not as big of a difference, although you can have multiple. So how it works is rare units can only have 1 slot. Epic units, as you guys saw, 2 quirks have 2 slots. Legendaries have 3 slots, and mythical units have the ability to get 4 quirk slots. So for example, Direb, this is not actually possible unless you have the shiny version, because Direb's just a limited exclusive unit that you got from completing the actual countdown. But from here, you guys can actually get a mythical units. Now, mythical units in general, they have that 4th quirk token. Now, how that works is it's actually called a class token, where it's kind of like a really big quirk buff. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go to the market real quick. I'm gonna buy some of these quirk tokens. I'm gonna use my gems. I'm gonna buy. So if we go back to our Direb unit right here, this is the unit I recommend you guys re-rolling, either the legendary or mythical. Try to save up for those. But we can now re-roll the different quirk tokens. Now, because he's legendary, we have 3 slots. So we're gonna go ahead and re-roll. You guys skip the animation. But essentially, this is how it works. This is your quirk. So we got strength. So Direb's DPS now 677, 730. So we can just look at the stats beforehand. Now we'll go ahead and reroll the second slots. We'll see what we can get. Now we got 20 attack speed. So his DPS is going to increase. So now it is 738 attacks per second increase. Now the last quirk slot, we'll see what we get right here. And okay, stun damage. So 90%. So when these units are stunned, he'll do more damage to bosses specifically. That's why you can't really see any of the combat stats increase. Now with how this summon does work, I think we actually have a free summon. Little comets, rare units right here. Okay, so we got a rare unit. So as you guys can tell, he is automatically equipped to our units, which is a pretty cool thing. He's also a lights unit, which we will take care and look at that in a second. So if you guys inspect the units right here, you guys can see the level, the attack damage, the crit chance. It's really in depth with how the units work, the base attack time, the base ability cooldown, all of this stuff, ability duration. Now if you guys did play anime champions or anime fighters, as you guys know, higher ability duration, the more the ability damage is actually going to do. So these are just really cool stuff and kind of elements, DPS breakdowns to look at. All right, the next big thing you guys want to pay attention for is classes. Now, how do classes work? If we look over at our units real quick, you guys can see the different symbols. Direb has a fist. Hinata has this little tank type of thing, and there are multiple other units that have different types of styles. Now, how classes work, we know, for example, we have a Berserker unit. Now, for example, I'm going to summarize all this. First class is Berserker. So Berserker, they're going to be used for bosses. The more you attack the boss, the more damage it's going to do over time. Assassin is burst DPS, so it's going to be like clearing units super fast. So weak units, you just want Assassin, do quick damage, get it done with. Tacticians are going to be leaders, so they're going to actually buff your teams. Now, we don't have any Tacticians just yet, but Tacticians will boost your overall team. So think of it kind of like a team leader, like a floor general. Going to buff all your units and kind of make them a lot stronger. On top of that, there's Mage, so burst DPS, high HP single targets, kind of like the Assassin, but for higher HP. Just a quick burst HP, get them done with, and then yeah, and then Brawler's gonna be more of an overall. So those are the ones like Direb, I guess like the Noob, like Yojin. So those are gonna be like your more consistent type of units to have. So how classes are gonna play a big part. You guys are gonna want to structure them when you do dungeons, when you do the Infinity Castle, which we'll look at. There are so many things. Next thing is elements. Now elements, pretty self-explanatory. Fire is good against snow. Snow is good against leaf. Leaf is good against water. So kind of like this. And then light and dark, these two are good against each other. And you guys can see they have a 1.3x damage multiplier. And for example, fire is going against water, has about a 0.8 damage multiplier. So it's gonna do slightly less than if it was attacking itself, like fire, attacking snow, attacking light, attacking dark. Quirks and classes, we kind of cover this. Like I said, mythical units, you get that 4th slot. Dungeons as well. Dungeons have different types of styles, like hordes, like bursts, like mighty. So with the basics now out of the way, it's time to finish up these main quests and move on eventually to the next world. Also, one thing to point out, sometimes units do have a chance to be bigger in size. You guys will probably see that. The bigger the unit are, like this one, for example, is a legendary unit. Or for example, this unit right here is a rare unit because of the blue titling. That's why they have less HP compared to the epic one right here, which has 16,000 HP. Okay, so we just completed the quest, and there we go. There's actually another legendary unit right here, so we'll see if we can actually maybe go ahead and try to rise that. That might be helpful. So we'll be able to rise it, and oh, we got it. Oh, hey, okay, man. So we got a legendary unit right here. So boom, just like that, replaces the units. So we actually no longer have our epic one. Now, if we were to ascend this unit, what we would need is, I guess, technically to get 50 legendary essence. Now, how we get this essence is just by defeating legendary units, and you guys will actually be able to get your mythical units nice and easy, which is good. On top of that, you guys need 3,000 clever mage souls. Now, to actually get these souls, as you guys saw, all you have to do is actually rise the unit. So every time we successfully rise the unit, now look, we got it right here. On top of that, we also got the clever mage soul at the bottom left, which is cool. All right, so last quest right here, we'll go ahead and do that. So boom, Cha is now done. So claim all, we did the quest. So it's just like that. So we got another altar summon, we got some more coins, we got some more diamonds. So next quest, somebody units. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll see if we can get another unit. Now, unfortunately, he is not that good. As you guys can see, he's another berserker type. And on top of that, as you guys can see, we have 3 light units, which means that our faction bonus is 30%, which means we're going to do 30% extra damage because we have 3 of the same units, or plus 2 of the same. So the more you guys have of the equal units, the more faction bonus damage you guys will be able to do. Although it will be good to switch it up and have different variety in terms of what element you're actually facing. Also, if you guys would like to teleport a little bit easier, instead of walking from unit to unit, you guys can actually use the zones and actually teleport to specific enemies. So I'm gonna do enemy 4. I believe this is, yeah, the ore farmer right here. So this guy right here is actually a mythical unit. So if you guys were able to defeat him, you would have a 1% chance to get a mythical unit, which will be super helpful. All right, so after a very long time, there we go, man. So we completed this last quest, and guys, we should now be able to advance into the next world. Before you challenge those world's keeper, obtain each of the world units as a rare. So now that we do have that, because we arised every single unit, we claim that as well. And just like that, we can now challenge the final boss. So if you guys re-teleport to the Monarch city and you head over to the right, there is a brand new portal that opens up called the Monarch City quest boss. And guys, by defeating this boss right here, Igris, this will advance us to the next world. Now this yellow bar right here is that stun bar. So now with Direb, how we have that 90% stun damage. Once this bar is at the lowest, once it's defeated, he will be vulnerable, which I believe he takes double damage. He takes a lot more damage than usual. This is kind of how you can burst bosses. So using like the mage type, the berserker type would be good. A lot of these different classes will be super helpful. So now he is vulnerable, and look at that, we are doing so much more damage. And that's also because Direb with that stun damage, he's just gonna be cooking up, bro. It's gonna be a whole lot of damage, and just like that, in no time, we should be able to defeat the boss. All right, so just like that, Igris is now defeated, and bam. So we got, okay, we just completed a bunch of stuff. We got dungeon crystals. We can complete this quest as well. More rewards, and on top of that, we had a chance to arise Igris. Okay, so from defeating this boss, we managed to get 5 class quirk tokens and also 10 dungeon crystals. So automatically, it puts us in World 2, and you guys will notice you unlocked so many things. So for example, now we can now auto rise units. We have auto attack now, so I believe our units just we just auto punch or auto use abilities. I think that's how it works. Okay, next thing, dungeons. So dungeons is something I want to showcase. D rank Wisteria Snowfield dungeon gate has appeared. So we'll teleport to that so we can actually attempt dungeons, and you guys attempt them with every player. We have a chance to get the Sound Slayer, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna join up this guy. So this boss right here is 900,000 HP. Before you can actually do damage, or I guess we can do damage right away. All right, so the Sound Slayer is about to get defeated. So we still have 3 minutes left. So we're actually doing really good in this dungeon. Make sure you guys join up with people. It will help you out a lot more. Unless you have super strong units, then of course you guys can probably solo it. But as the dungeon gates get harder, like I believe there's rank E, rank D. Also, we can use this revive scroll. But to arise dungeon bosses, we have to actually use scrolls. And you guys get these daily, I believe 5 a day. But it's a 1% chance to evolve this guy. And unsuccessfully, we did not get it. So the best bet to actually get super strong mythical units will be arising those dungeon bosses. As well as on top of just maybe getting lucky with the units in the world. Sometimes they can spawn as mythical and you guys can defeat them. All right, so we clear this last one here. He's about to clear that one. Okay, so I believe that is the dungeon. Okay, so you guys get more dungeon crystals. What these dungeon crystals are used for, we'll get into that in a second. But now we can teleport back to the central gate. So from this, we got more class quirk tokens, which I'm about to showcase. Also, last thing to note, dungeons. If you guys go to store, go to dungeon shop, you guys can actually buy like revive scroll dailies. You guys can buy some move speed boost, quirk tokens. You can actually get a random chest as well, which is super helpful. And then there are weekly ones as well. So you can use this to buy more revive scrolls, more break orbs. So definitely save these and definitely do dungeons because it's going to be super helpful for actually trying to get these units. So from this, guys, there are class quirk tokens. We were talking about this earlier. Class quirk tokens can only be used on mythical and above rarities. I believe right now they're only mythical units, but eventually there might be secret, there might be divine, who knows. But how these work, if you guys go over to the 4th slot of your mythical units, by the way, you guys can get this units by paying, I believe, 99 Robux. There's also a World 2 pack, but these are, they're pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but you can essentially just get mythicals of each of the worlds. But again, if you're free to play, you don't need to, but that 99 Robux one might be super helpful. All right, so back to rerolling the quirks. Now, first things first, as you guys know, like we learned earlier on, we can reroll the quirks for the first 3 slots. Oh, we got crit chance, that's really good. And maybe we can get, okay, so we got D. I believe the highest is actually S, or like S plus for the actual rarities. So now the class quirk tokens. To use these, you guys actually need 2 quirk tokens plus a class quirk token. While these ones, all you needed was 1. They're also not as expensive with coins, so really you just need these 2. But if we roll this class quirk token, you guys can see this will be the big thing that can benefit. Okay, we got precision stone. Okay, so precision stance, you guys can see the class crit reduces skill cooldown. So every time that crit chance, because these two comboed up, is actually gonna be really good on Yojin. So higher crit chance, crits reduce skill cooldown, so that's actually really good. Also, there is a accept quirk button, so you guys don't actually need to actually take it, but I will accept this one, and we'll see. We got more DPS now, which is really all right. So barrage stance right here, we got something new. We'll keep it. We'll see what that does. Go back to Yojin. Every ninth attack does more damage and reduces skill cooldown. So that one's pretty interesting as well. So yeah, that is going to be the best way to progress our units, rerolling quirks, leveling them up. On top of that, using these break orbs that you guys will be able to get from rewards as well. So we went ahead, we fast claim this, we get break orbs, gold, XP. Now we can go back to our units, back to Yojin, because Yojin's our strongest unit. We'll limit break him, so get more strength. Stats beforehand 2000, limit break that, and just like that, guys, his damage is way more. So now we can get him all the way to level 20, but summons must be within 10 levels of each other. So just like that, now that all of our units are level 10, we can actually level up Yojin, try to get him to, I believe, level 15 or level 20. Now the very last thing that you guys probably need to know, and then you guys are set for the game, is Infinity Castle. So if we walk over here, there is Enter Castle. Now how this works, there are different castles that are open throughout the days of the week. Now, because it is the weekend, I believe this means every single castle is available. So if it is the weekend, you guys can do everything, which is pretty cool. This is going to be helpful. You guys have different variety of units. That way you actually have the strength for the different dungeons that you have, or Infinity Castles. So make sure you have the required units. For example, Fire Castle, you need fire units. Water units, you need water units. But for the very last thing, we'll do our first one. We'll do our daily castle. We'll select this one up, and then how this works, we click challenge, and then we can do the different floors. We can do floor 1, floor 2, but we'll get started with floor 1. You guys get common fragments, you guys get diamonds. We can also change the tower and do something like the Fire Castle, which we select that. You guys can see different wards. So it's going to be a lot of variety stuff. We got rare fragments for this one. And because we actually have no, I believe, we only have one fire unit. So actually you can only use the elements that correspond to it. So we only have one fire unit, which is Cha, which means we can only equip this unit. So if you guys are planning to do like the light or the dark one, make sure you guys actually have those specific units, which will be super. And yeah, just from that, completing the floor, we got some diamonds, we got some common fragments, and we can actually do 5 floors. So ladies and gents, it's safe to say that you guys are pretty set and ready to go. You guys look on the right side as well. You have a bunch of quests. Make sure to claim these. These are just free quests you guys can claim. And just like that, there are so many rewards that you can get, which I love. So some key reminders as always, make sure you guys are leveling up your units. Have different varieties. It is so important in this game to have different elements, especially for the Infinity Castles, especially for units that you're actually attacking against. I'm excited for this game, man. If you guys enjoyed this starter guide, if it was helpful, please make sure that like button, subscribe button, comment down below if it helped you out. If you guys have any more questions, be sure to ask. I will definitely probably do a little series on this game on my other accounts. God bless you all, man. Tell your parents you love them, and I'll see y'all later, man. Enjoy Anime Rising. Peace.